Some people grind for greatness. Some people just stumble upon it. Others, like us, sit in a room with 3 other dudes arguing about everything and accomplishing nothing. This is the Infinite Roundabout. Whoa, what is up, party people? How we doing? Welcome to the Infinite Roundabout. My name's Devin. I'm your co-host here today. I got my other co-host here, my man John.
Hey.
Mr. Man with a Plan, Matt.
What's up?
And please find the closest bar, Blake.
What is up?
So how's everybody doing today?
Great.
It's Tuesday.
Pretty good.
It's Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
Is it?
Today's the bad day.
That's podcast day.
It is podcast. This is the best part about it, Tuesday, I think. So, exciting news here on the Infinite Roundabout. We have two major announcements today.
Oh boy.
One, we're going to start off with, I'm really excited about. Everybody else.
I think we all are very excited about this.
We're excited about both of them, but this one is extremely excited because this is us becoming officially official, I would believe.
Right.
We have a major announcement. We got a new logo, as done by our good friend. We're sort of going to put that on screen here for a few minutes. Drum roll, please.
Don't hit the table. It's going to mess with the mic. I was going to do it.
There we go.
While Devin's finding buttons.
There
There
it is.
Oh, we made it, boys. We made it.
Now we're going to leave that on the screen for the rest of the podcast so you don't have to see our ugly
You don't have
mugs.
to look at us anymore.
Look at that beautifulness.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
shout out
Hey,
to Kendall. Thanks, man.
Kendall, you're a fucking bro.
You knocked it out of the park.
He did that, and he did that within about 72 hours. So he's a beast. He's a freelance commissioner, so he does do whatever drawings you'd like, logos, etc. His email will be listed in the comments or the description below.
Yeah.
So if you have anything, hit him up. He has some name. I can't remember the name that he goes by, but it'll be in the description below. If you need anything, hit him up.
I know.
It wasn't the racist name, was it?
I think
I don't think it was the racist name.
I think I know
It was
what
not.
I think
That
I know
was
what
a
the
joke.
the other thing is, and I mean, it's heartbreaking to say it, but guys, Joe texted me, and Joe Rogan's not going to make it today.
Damn it.
Dang it.
So I think he
He's
said
gotta
next
stop
week.
breaking his promises.
Yeah, no, weed is it's a hell of a drug.
That's true.
So hopefully he comes next week. We've got a spot saved for him.
Yeah.
So
Somewhere.
I'm assuming that was the news, right?
We'll put him right on Blake's lap. Here.
That was
Hey,
news. That was
If
news.
Daddy
1.5.
Joe wants to sit on my lap, I'm fine with that.
That was so there's something else.
There is something else. Yes, that was news 1.5. Unfortunately, that's some very sad news. But we got some even more exciting news. We are going to be doing a challenge between the 4 of us. This is going to be a weight loss challenge. It's
Yes.
going to be great.
Wait, I didn't sign up for that.
Oh, whoops.
Then you're voted off the island.
Blake is
Yeah.
off the island.
Blake is off the island.
Blake got voted off the island.
Here's your cup of rice. You please leave.
Then I'm going to lose weight.
That is
Unfortunately, I do think that Blake, of the 4 of us, has the least amount to lose.
that is true. And we did weigh in prior to this, so we have our starting weights. I'm going to put those on the screen here in just a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to start here. That's going to be an 8-week challenge in total. So we did first weigh-ins here today. We're going to do the highest percentage of weight lost by episode 9, which would be 8 weeks from here today. So that'll be final weigh-in. And whoever wins, whoever loses...
Just real quick, that's 7 weeks.
No, it'd be 8.
It's episode 2, it's episode
I
9.
already did the math. It's 8 weeks, I swear.
All right.
Well, this week's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
math.
Wow.
Quick maths.
It's probably good. It's probably a good thing Blake has the least amount of weight to lose because he can't count to 8.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly not doing the percentage math.
He's going
So
up.
we are going off of percentage.
Yeah, we're going to go off by
Percentages.
percentage because, in theory, my fat ass should lose the most, but so the highest number doesn't necessarily reflect that. So that's going to be great. We haven't really decided on what winners and losers are going to get, so we're going to throw that out to the comments section. Tell us what you think the winner and the loser should get.
Don't hold
This
back.
is
Do
a
not-
dangerous game.
do not
We're
hold
playing.
back.
Don't, Josh.
I did
I'm looking
not-
at you, Josh. I know you're watching.
I did
Don't
not
hold
sign
back.
up for this.
So, and we did, like I said, we did do the first weigh in here just now, so we're going to go ahead and put those on the screen if somebody wants to call them out. I don't know where they are.
Blake, would you like to do the honors?
Sure, I can read them. I can kind of read, maybe.
Can't
All
do
right, so our weigh-ins are as follows. Devin weighed in at 325.4 pounds. Woo, big winner. John weighed in at 258.2. Matt, 265.6.
It's mostly muscle.
Mostly
yeah,
muscle.
probably. We'll go with that for now. It's harder to lose, though, so have fun with that.
I have plenty of fupa hanging out here.
Then I came in at 206.
On the dot.
I've got some work ahead of me.
Yeah. If you don't get down to 140, I'm gonna be seriously
Yeah,
disappointed.
all of us are going to be very disappointed in you, Blake.
So,
I
yeah.
haven't been 140 since like 4th grade. That's going to be tough.
I want to see your bones.
So you guys,
Skeleton man.
you guys have any initial thoughts on what you're gonna do?
No, I'm just gonna say
man,
that
that's what I'm
my
gonna-
plan is to crush you guys. My
Oh,
plan
okay.
is to absolutely
Total
dominate this
domination.
competition.
I've been in
I don't want to be punished. I'm
Okay.
gonna take all of you guys down. This is a challenge issued.
That's fine. I've been in a percentage-based weight loss challenge before, and everyone looks at me like, "Oh, this guy, he's not gonna do shit." I won, so come at me. Come at
But
me.
yeah, it wasn't against me.
And I've never lost before, so I'm like LeVar Ball.
He's
I'm
also
like
never
LeVar Ball,
competed.
so
But
That's true.
undefeated, never lost. All right, we're gonna take these down.
just leave them up there
They're
the whole
so
time.
beautiful.
I want people to just like.
They'll be in the
size us up.
they'll be in description below. Don't worry.
All right. Does anyone have anything to add to the weight loss?
I think I'm at a severe advantage against you guys.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because I've done this before.
That's what Blake said.
That's my advantage.
Not
You can't have my
not
advantage.
won a challenge, but lost a.
No, I know you've never won a challenge.
I've
before.
lost
That's fine.
copious amounts of weight at a time.
Copious.
I don't think he knows what that word means.
That's a lot.
Like we're just saying it for a friend.
But more than once have I lost over 100 pounds at a time.
Oh, if you was 100 pounds this time, it would be very unhealthy.
Yeah, well,
Please
160 is not that bad.
Oh, I don't think you're gonna look good at 160.
So, like, for just for reference, like John and I were both like 6'4"ish, right in there.
6'4",
So
6'4",
6'4" and 150 pounds.
Gabe from The Office.
Yeah,
That's about 30 pounds underweight. So
yeah. No, I'll say right now, my physical goal is about 225 to 235. That's the window I want to hit.
I think that's about the same.
That's
for
the
me,
sweet
actually.
spot. That's the sweet spot.
I just want to be like somewhere between 190, 195.
Nice.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, 10 solid pounds. That'd be big for you. You're the skinniest guy here.
I did it back in September, and then I went on vacation and gained it all back. So just gotta do it again.
That's gonna be
That
fun.
sounds about right. Vacation.
What are we
Sipping
looking at?
martinis.
It was a 2-week cruise, so
Yeah, crab legs in one hand and a martini in
a
the
lot
other.
of alcohol, a lot of free food.
So that's this chart is absurd.
So yeah, 6'4", you should be between 156 to 204 pounds.
And that's for
156,
someone.
156 is in my goal.
Well,
156? Are you kidding
No,
me?
hear me out. That's what I'm saying. Like these charts are for like people who have like
Normal.
Like one. Like
So-
don't have any muscle.
Zero muscle
Yeah,
whatsoever,
zero
yeah.
muscle build.
Well-
It's just like your average Joe kind of build, where it's like you just want to be a flat 170,
Well, we all know Matt's
250,
not
or
normal,
264.
so
Definitely not
figure
normal.
that out.
I mean, no.
So if you're 6'4" and you're 205 to 245, you're considered overweight.
That's
205?
So what about 240 to 311?
So if you are 246 to 320 pounds at 6'4", you're considered obese.
I am obese.
obese?
We are obese, John.
I am obese as well.
Look at
My,
all three
I'm
of us.
not
See
even
this?
on the scale.
This is the face of obesity.
Look at this here. We're 6'3" at
6'3" is right.
6'3". 152 to 1. Oh wait, what's the middle one?
Oh,
What are the columns?
that's this one is overweight, obese, and normal.
Oh, okay. So I'm overweight.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
the
All right.
BMI is a sham. I've always ignored it my entire life.
Yeah.
It doesn't take into account for lean mass at all.
Nope.
So yeah, that's absurd.
Yeah, no, it is
Not big fan.
crazy to think about that. So
Well, speaking of lean mass, let's talk about some NCAA athletes.
Ooh, good transition.
I was just reading a story about Katie Ledecky. She is an Olympic gold medalist swimmer. She's got
And one of the world best.
one of the world best. She's
Set
got
world
5
records.
Olympic golds. I believe she's got more medals than that. I didn't get the exact count. She has 15 NCAA records in her 2 years at Stanford.
I think it's Katie with a Y.
Yeah, it's Katie
Oh, I'm wrong.
I would
Ledeky.
have figured it out.
So she wanted to continue her swimming career at Stanford, but due to NCAA rules, I don't want to say being forced to drop out, but it sure seems like she's being forced to drop out.
There's a gold medal count.
The NCAA
That's not the.
does not allow you to make money off of endorsements. and she is one of the most decorated athletes in the world. She's got a lot of money and endorsements coming her way leading up to the 2020 Olympic Games.
I think the NCAA is like one of the most backwards organizations.
It's one of the most corrupt
Yeah.
organizations.
No,
I hate
it's-
the NCAA.
I mean, well, and because of how the NCAA operates, it's the reason that we lost the great game that is NCAA football. Like it's probably my favorite. One of my favorite
Absolutely.
video games in the world was NCAA football. But
Well, for some
when
of the-
people's likeness is getting used, they got to get paid, and that's like that. So we'll get into that.
Yeah, so I want to let's just give me a brief overview here of for people who aren't aware of what the NCAA is or how bad they are. I guess I think people are aware of what the NCAA is. It's the governing body for college sports, but
Not a business.
it's not a business.
Yeah, not a sports
In air quotes.
Just like this is not
They
a
write
sports
in air
podcast,
quotes
yeah.
around each side.
Oh my gosh.
But there's been several stories that popped up that show the NCAA's stupidity. I just only pulled a couple of them. Let's just dive right into it. See what I did there? So
Where's the cookies?
It's because she's a swimmer.
Oh,
yeah. So it's actually funny. I was writing this down earlier, and I wrote, "Let's dive into this" before I added the Katie Ledecky part. And then I was looking, I'm like, wait a minute, how'd that work?
How many puns can I make into this article before?
Don't you love it when you're just unintentionally funny?
I know, I'm just amazing.
Well, let's not go that far.
No, I think we should go that far. But here's a couple stories of kind of the bullshit that the NCAA has done. Let's see here. In 2013, there was a golfer at the University of Portland who was sanctioned for washing her car with school water. She didn't pay for that water, so she got in trouble with the NCAA for it.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go off.
Last year, Donald De La Haye, I think that's how you say his name. He was a kicker. I think it was a kicker for UCF. Was ruled ineligible to play college football because he had a popular YouTube channel that was monetized.
You know what? I heard about that. I
Right.
absolutely heard about that. And well, he actually had the option.
Yeah, the NCAA
He
came
had
after
the
him and said,
option.
"Take the page down or play football."
Take
And he
the
said,
page. Could he not just unmonetize?
I don't know.
I
an
know, but
income
that's
stream for him
but it's
now.
basically that's what they want. It wasn't necessarily take the page down. They asked him to. He wasn't allowed to make money doing that.
Keep in
Essentially,
mind-
as an NCAA athlete, he was not allowed to make money doing that. So he was asked to unmonetize
Wait,
it.
Keep in mind, he had this page before he was a college
Yeah,
athlete.
absolutely. Like,
This was a popular page before that, and the NCAA came after him and said, "You got to take this down. You're not allowed to make money while you're in school," which I think is absolutely
athletes
ridiculous.
are allowed to have jobs when
Well, kind of,
Yeah,
because athletes can get in trouble if their brother buys them a sandwich.
yeah.
What about your parents?
is that your next point?
Yeah, kind of.
There's a lot of rules.
I kind of
and
wanted to
regs.
explore whether we think that the NCAA should, maybe not the NCAA, but the schools should pay student athletes. I've always been strongly against this, but in recent years, I've really come around to seeing the other side of this. Not
I
every,
was about to go.
yeah, I know.
I'm holding my tongue.
Not every student athlete's like what you think of, the typical jock who just doesn't care about school at all. Some of them are actually trying in school. So if you're devoting all this time to school and then to your sport, you don't even have time to have a job. How are you supposed to stay afloat?
Well, some of them are actually just the most driven people on the planet, and that's why they are so successful as athletes, and they're so successful in their academics. It's just because they work so much hard. They just apply themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they're that much smarter and that much more talented than people around them. They just apply themselves way more than people around them, and it's a great. They're honestly most of them are upstanding people. But what I was just trying to get at is I think my biggest thing, and this is just the capitalist in me. The NCAA is a multi-million-dollar industry. They make so much money off of, March Madness or the NCAA football championship and the college playoffs and those are the big ones. But there's so much more on top of that. There's so many different NCAA sports out there. They make so much money on this, and it's just they literally are doing what the reason why NCAA the football game, the video game, got taken down was because players' likeliness was getting stealed to be put into a game, and none of the colleges were making revenue from it. None of the players were making revenue from it, and so that was the big thing where, like in Madden, the football players in Madden get paid for their likeliness to get used in the game. Now you can't do that with all the college athletes out there. It's because of the NCAA, for one. But the NCAA turns it back around and just they make money off these athletes and don't pay them. I don't know the number off the top of my head. We should look it up. How much money does the March Madness men's basketball tournament bring in? You can do men's and women's.
Well,
I mean, how much money does that make in? And none of those athletes are going to see a dime.
So even just ticket sales for any game. I mean,
well, and
they're making a killing.
I feel the same way about the Olympics. Very rarely does an Olympic athlete make a great living for themselves outside of the Olympics. So read this off right now.
So basically, March Madness is the NCAA's bread and butter. College athletics governing body will earn somewhere around $900 million in revenue from the tournament.
So
90% of the NCAA basketball's annual revenue.
So we'll round to our advantage here and just say $1 billion. We'll round to our advantage and say the NCAA makes roughly $1 billion.
$1 billion industry
Madness.
don't pay their workers.
And so there's two sides to this, and I think John, prior you mentioned you want to take the other side of this coin.
Well, we'll see in a few points.
But my thing is these athletes, obviously the tournament and all this stuff is organized by the NCAA, but the amount of money it brings in, you can't tell me that these athletes don't deserve a share of it somehow. And that's why I was going to get into the Olympics. The same thing.
The Olympics, though, at least you're allowed to make money off of that, though.
Yeah, you can at least get endorsed. Mm-hmm. But how rare is it for an athlete to get endorsed outside of say Michael Phelps? I mean, Ryan Lochte had his moment in the sun. Some of the gymnasts, Simone
Ledecky.
Biles, Katie Ledecky, some of them get their moment in the sun, getting some endorsements. But it's you understand that Olympians are the best athletes in the world at what they do, and it's how can someone commit that much time to something that they may make money off of?
See, I'm not as big of a proponent of paying Olympic athletes, because that's not something that's not them going to school. That's not them trying to get an education. That's something that they're doing because they want to do it.
I'm just the Olympics tie into a lot of the reason why I think that college athletes should get paid is that they're the people bringing in the viewers. They're the people bringing the event together. If there were no Olympic athletes, if there was no college athletes,
there is no product without the
there
players.
Would be exactly. There's no product.
There's no
tournament.
The way around, though.
I disagree.
I think no schools.
I think that those tournaments can be privately organized by schools, even with the athletes.
That for the athletes to be in these programs and to be shown on television, they have to be.
You ever watched a Shadron State football game?
No.
Neither has anyone else. They still play.
Yes.
But that's why I seriously disagree. And Shadron State being a D2 school. If you get rid of the NCAA, Duke will still have a basketball team. Someone will pay for those teams to get together for a tournament.
I mean, yeah, that's why these players are taking money from boosters. Because boosters want to see this.
I strongly disagree with you, John. And it's just I think that the product is made by the athletes. It's just organized by the NCAA, and anyone can do that.
But I'm not asking for these players to be paid millions of dollars. I'm asking for two things.
Compensation.
That was my other question.
Compensation.
What do you think a fair wage?
I don't have an exact fair wage, but my idea was why couldn't every university or every school, if you're a student athlete for that school, the entire time that you're in that sports program, you are owed 40 hours a week wage at that area's minimum wage plus half.
I mean,
you have a full-time job. You're not getting an amount of money, but you're living.
On the flip side of this coin, and this is the other argument that I actually made myself years ago, when I've kind of grown up and changed because I've earned my dollars. I understand what it's like to get paid and what it takes, and I used to think that why are they complaining about not getting paid? They get scholarships to these schools. Well, one, not all of them get scholarships. Mm-hmm. Some of them do. Some of them get full ride scholarships, and full ride scholarship to a school could be worth upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 in 4 years.
But even then, back to my previous point of they don't have time to work, so how do they even buy groceries?
So, I think minimum wage is a little low.
That's what I
think you just got to average it out. Take a cut of that. We'll take a cut of what the NCAA makes. I don't know. 40%. I don't know if that's too big or too small.
So it can't average that.
So
here's why. Because if you have a school in San Francisco, that cut is drastically different from a school in Nebraska. It has to be based on the local value of the dollar.
You're right.
That's why I was saying minimum wage plus half. So in Nebraska, if you're a student athlete, you're making $12 an hour at $40.
My argument against that is 100% theoretical, in the sense that I think that would influence athletes
to go
to specific schools
for a specific region. That's what I was going to.
But if it's set like that, then it doesn't, because you're getting the same income ratio to pay as anywhere else in the country. Alabama can't pay you more; they have to pay at that rate.
Right, but like I said, some of these athletes will, they'll be in college. They don't have to worry about paying for a lot of bills and living. I'm just saying, just theoretically here in Florida, if that wage is $20,
Mm-hmm. and
in Nebraska that wage is going to be $12. It won't be 12. It'll be probably like 14 or 15.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
That $5 more an hour.
Why wouldn't you go to Florida?
Yeah,
It's always warm there.
Why wouldn't you go there now? I mean, Florida's offering right now. Right now, the problem that we have is that boosters are giving these athletes money. You're going to go to Florida over Shattering State.
Sorry, dude.
Matt's trying to kill Devin.
I accidentally kicked his lever. You good?
I think he's dead.
Did you bring your spare pair of pants to the podcast?
I forgot those.
Are you awake out there?
Student athletes are already going to Florida over Shattering State because they're going to have more of an opportunity to make money at Florida than Shattering State. That's just fact right now.
But okay,
they get more
you're
TV
comparing
exposure.
you're comparing a D1 school to a D2 school. Compare UNL to Florida State. That's a huge difference. Huge difference.
It's the same reason that you pick to go to Nebraska now versus going to Florida. You like the culture, you like the coach, stuff like that. But it doesn't really change it.
Money will influence everything. Money will influence.
And like I said, my system that I'm coming up with isn't perfect. I don't think it's perfect.
I'm just poking holes in it. My neither was mine. I think just the greed of humans is too strong in that sense. Where if the local minimum wage is higher, in California, obviously, than it is here, what's going to keep California? I'm sure, and
because
we'd
the
have to
cost
look
is
it up.
more, though.
But if they're going to college there, the cost of living there is not that big of an issue to them.
If you have a full ride scholarship, you're getting room and board paid for.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
go
food
buy
paid
groceries.
for. And for food.
$100 cart here costs $300 there.
That's not true.
It is true. That's absolutely true.
That's a little absurd.
I also think that most of those full rides have something built in where if you're also staying on campus, then there's a huge ass, like even if you go to UNL, there's a huge cafeteria. You get everything for free. You can go down there and eat whenever you want, however as much as you want.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's the differences in the costs, and not that this is a necessary cost, but look at movie theater prices. What does it cost? $12 for a movie ticket here? It's like what, $28 in California for a movie?
Well, so on the topic of groceries, I literally just got back from California, and the price of milk was not but like 10 cents higher.
Yeah, but how are you gonna get there? You gotta take an Uber because you're not driving. I'm just saying the costs are more to equate. That's the reason that they get paid more money is because it costs more money to live there.
Would you pay different positions or different sports more?
Nope.
So
it's
every sport
across
gets
the
paid
board, same pay.
What about students who do not play?
Doesn't matter. They get paid.
So you're saying
if you're the third string quarterback on a team, you make the same money as the first string quarterback.
So if you owned a company and you had an employee who sat and watched someone work, and if that person had to go to the bathroom,
Did they sit and watch someone work? These players are practicing, right?
Correct.
They're contributing to the practice. They're contributing to the schemes.
So
the third string quarterback's always got a clipboard in his hand. He's helping with the plays. These players are working. Just because they're not seeing the field doesn't mean they're not contributing to the team.
They're not providing income. It's not a business. Those players are not providing income.
It's not a business. It's really not.
I disagree. I think
it's not. They
made $1 billion and it's not a business.
The third string quarterback is just as important to the team as the first string quarterback. He may not be incorporating as much help on the field directly, but if and I think most teams don't even have a third string quarterback. Usually it stops at 2.
Yeah.
But the backup is just as important because if the first string goes down, someone needs to step up.
I see what you're saying though, John. But to my next point, I also say the NCAA should allow players to be able to take endorsements.
Yeah,
So the first string quarterback, if he's really the superstar player, he's gonna make more money because he's getting an endorsement offer that the third string quarterback's not getting.
That's very capitalistic.
The third string quarterback is still getting paid because he still has to spend just as much time at practice as everyone else and still has just as little time to do an actual job. That's the whole point of that part of it.
I think like I said, I think your plan is pretty solid. I think my biggest argument is I think it influences athletes. I think you grossly hyperbolize the idea of how much it costs to live in California versus here. I mean, the cost of living there, like homes and stuff, is way more. But like Devin, you just looked it up. a movie ticket in California costs $12.
Again, we can adjust the dollar amounts all we want. That's fine. It's just the idea.
I just think you grossly ideologize the idea of how much more it costs to live some of these other places. I think, and the one thing the NCAA does right is making it so that every team has a fair chance to recruit anybody.
I think
High
that's
points
what
get established for a reason. I think that if you do this, and then this is completely theoretical, if you do this, I feel like athletes will definitely get more incentive to go somewhere where they would have that higher wage. Theoretically.
That's it. That's why I don't know the number. I don't.
But
you tune the number so that it doesn't make sense to jump to school just because
what
dollars.
What if you standardize the wage?
Well, then it doesn't work.
I think it doesn't. I think it.
How does it not work that way?
Because again, San Francisco is a far more expensive city than Omaha.
Not that much.
It's still more expensive. So now, why would I ever go to play in San Francisco when I can play in Lincoln? If this is your exact argument that you were just making, I'm making more money in Omaha now than I'm making in San Francisco.
That's not 100% true. Just because milk costs 10 cents more, how much
But this
money
is the
am I
exact
losing?
argument you were just making.
No, you're arguing, you're hyperbolizing my argument against me. You're talking in like end to end, black and white.
No,
I'm speaking in gray. Okay, movie tickets. They're half the price you said they were. The cost of living there is the only thing that's substantially different. Product there is not that much more expensive. That's like that fact. I was just there. Okay, that's not the case. I went to Carl's Jr. and ordered fries. It cost me just as much as it would cost here. It's not that grossly different. It's the cost of living because people want to live on the coast.
I think it's enough that if you're at this place for 4+ years, then you are going to see that difference in pay, that you will make more money if you are.
Do you think that 100% matters to a kid too? Like if a kid's raised in California, obviously he probably want to stay there. All I'm saying is I think that the conception of how much more it costs to live there is, you're not wrong. I think the apartment I'm living here in Lincoln would probably cost almost twice as much in California, but that's because it's in California, and that's considered a better place to live. And we'll put apostrophes around that. A lot of people perceive, living in California better than living in Nebraska. But just because you live there doesn't mean that the product there is that much more expensive.
The only point that I was trying, I agree. I mean, I don't think that some things are more expensive. Maybe groceries was a bad example, but there are certainly...
Well, like groceries, movies. The only thing that is inherently more expensive there is just the cost of living. That's because where you're living. People, like I said, and I get if you did probably a general consensus of the population in the United States and you said, would you rather live in California or Nebraska? There would be an overwhelming number of people who would vote for California.
You can count me out of that one.
I agree. I would much rather. I prefer to live here. I have family in California. I could probably move out there on a whim's notice, but I just prefer it here.
Right.
So,
where's Nebraska on the map? Can you say? Can you put
is that a foreign country?
I think it's in like the northeast corner.
Is it? Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I was like, I'm not trying to.
One of the two.
I'm not trying to belittle you or like trying to.
No, I was
wrong,
just trying to point out the contradiction in your statement where
it
you had said that.
No, I wasn't contradicting myself because I was saying that the price of the
2 minutes ago you said it wouldn't make a difference. But then before that, when I brought up my point, you said it would make a difference and people would go to different schools to make different money.
Because they would be incentivized to go to those schools. You made the point of saying that it costs so much more there. I said you were wrong. I did not go back on myself. We can go over it. I did not go back on myself.
Get the tape.
Yeah.
If we do watch the tape, we will hear you say maybe 3 minutes ago that you don't, if it was the same scale across the board, you don't think it would make a difference if people wouldn't go to different schools.
People would not be as influenced as much by the wage. That was the point I was trying to make.
You wouldn't be influenced by the money, but if they're paid based on area race, then they're influenced by the money. How can they be influenced by the money and not be influenced by the money? Is all I'm asking.
They would not be that. So, like I said, if you're getting paid $20 an hour here, $15 an hour here, like just broad terms, where would you go?
The place that I want to be, because it's cost of living ratio.
I think that's a very personal question, and it can't be discussed in at least 4 people.
You're trying to say I went back on myself, and I didn't. I won't stand for that. I didn't go back on myself. I stood by my points, and I said what I meant to say.
Maybe it came out wrong because that's not what I heard. That's all.
You just misinterpreted me.
So back to Katie Ledecky. I did see that she had 12. She was the first. Wait, where is she? She is the first woman to win 12 gold medals.
12.
Wow.
She's got 5 gold medals.
Enough.
She might have 12
from
medals.
just last year.
12 medals or 12 gold?
12 gold medals.
No, she has 4 gold medals.
She's got 5 Olympic gold medals.
Is that from this year?
This is...
Yeah, that's from
Well,
2016.
she competed in
There you go.
2016, so
This one says 4.
there hasn't been one
What is
since.
that, 2012 Olympic
I don't
gold
know. Yeah, I
medals?
suppose she's probably young enough that she wouldn't have
I
compared.
don't know, maybe I got the wrong numbers, but everything I saw said 5 Olympic golds. There was other medals. Maybe it was total 12.
Maybe it
but
was. I don't know. I'll look. I'll find it.
Not that this matters. Does it matter how many medals she has?
Point is, she's really good at what she's doing.
And go ahead and continue your point with that.
Well, the other point that I wanted to make, as far as, because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, they're getting a full ride scholarship, they don't need to be paid, whatever. I feel like we explored that a lot. There's another thing that we haven't explored. If I had any musical talent, which we know I don't, if I did,
I've seen Blake sing and play guitar multiple times, and it is not a sight you would pay for.
no, it's not. But if I had musical talent, I could get a scholarship offer to a full ride scholarship offer to a school. If during that time or before that time I had a successful band, I'm allowed to make money on that. No one cares. If I was a talented artist, same thing. I can make money on that. So why can't a football player make money on that?
I absolutely agree with that point, that students that are in school should not be... The kid who is making videos online and being monetized by YouTube should not have to stop that unless it impedes on... I mean, I guess the school shouldn't have to dictate
shouldn't have
that,
to stop
but
it
if it's
anyways.
impeding on your...
Yeah.
That's not a school thing. But they
It's
shouldn't
not.
be able to...
No one's holding a gun to your head. He doesn't have to go to school if he doesn't want to.
Right. I think he decided to stick with YouTube too.
Yeah, he did. He dropped off the team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
'Cause
right
he's
choice.
making more
But
Yeah. Say what's. Yeah. Say and that's.
unless you're a superstar athlete, you're going to be making more money even if you're
I
making...
was gonna say that's when you have
Low
to weigh. Do
YouTube.
I think I'm gonna make it in the NFL, or do I think that my YouTube channel is gonna get bigger than?
Yeah, you got to follow the money. I mean, it's exactly what Kayla Ledecky just did. She's like, I can stay in school, I can keep breaking NCAA records, but she's like, I already gave up multiple millions not being endorsed for 2016 Olympics. I'm not giving that up again for 2020.
Yeah.
So I mean, she just had to do it. I think I know where everyone stands on this at this point. I guess we can go around the room. I mean, do you favor paying student athletes?
I do.
I think it's hard because a lot of sports make different amounts of money, and some sports don't make, like, it's an incomparable amount of money that they make in comparison. But I think that it would be unfair to other sports like golf versus football. One's going to make obviously a
Track
lot more
and
money.
field versus
Track and
football.
field versus football, or basketball.
I was kind
basketball,
of looking
yeah.
at more like overall university income compared to
Do
even
you-
if you're on the golf team and you're not making any money, sure, but it's still the fact that the students don't have time to work and they're student athletes. It
It's
doesn't
also-
really matter.
Yeah.
The university is still making a
It's
ridiculous
also
amount of money.
technically still an extracurricular activity. I mean,
Yeah, but if that's
it'd be like saying a kid in high school is part of 10 clubs and doesn't have time to have a job, and do you think the school should pay
maybe
them
a kid
because
in high
he's
school
part
is
of
being
the
supported
school?
by his parents. A kid in college just had to move across the country, now has to pay his own bills.
Possibly had. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on the situation, I think you're looking at it also from a very extreme situation.
Oh, I am. I for sure am.
Yeah, no. So you're looking, and that's fine because that's a great example of what we're looking at. So you are looking at the kid that went from Florida and is now in Nebraska, or now in Kansas is playing basketball or something like that. What is their life? What does their daily lifestyle look like? I don't think that I don't think that they should be paid. I don't know how. I feel like they should be paid, but I don't know where that money would come from. I don't know how you would be able to split the money evenly to the point where it'd be fair for everybody to have it. But
Some
Yeah,
schools-
that's
some-
obviously
so-
the difficult part.
Some
of it.
Which
schools
is the
would lose a
absolute-
lot of money because would the school be paying the student, or would
That's I
NCAA?
don't
And
have the answer to
I
that
know
question either.
there are so many people here, even here, who put so much money into the UNL football program. So many boosters.
and
So so let's just say let's step away from football and just look at the basketball perspective. Are we giving more lump sum money of that $900 million that we made to any of the 68 teams that made it to the March Madness tournament because there are puppets in our show that we're putting on? Or are we going to spread it out? Or does somebody like Illinois get maybe more, or get at least a part of that cut because they were part of the, or like even Nebraska, our basketball team was great this year. Are we getting a part of that cut too? because we were in the hunt the whole time. We were in the hunt. We're going to be in it. We lost a game. We're going to be out.
Are you saying the schools or the athletes that should get a cut?
I'm talking about the NCAA. The NCAA. This is the $900 million that we were just looking at. That's the NCAA's money. That's where you're saying that the money should be coming from, right?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Well, and that's just what I'm asking. Do you think that the $900 million that the NCAA made from the March Madness tournament, is that the money that you think that they should be splitting out between? So then, if we think about it that way, how much money do they make from the college football playoff? So only the 4 teams in those schools get more money because.
Well, that's why I would think that you wouldn't pay
from there.
more money. It would be a kind of like a baseline thing,
which is
because that's where the endorsements come in.
I think
players,
that's a huge
because
part
if you're
of it,
in the
too.
tournament,
Gotcha.
chances are you get more
Gotcha.
endorsements.
Okay. No, I was just trying to understand where you were coming up with this money, this $13 an hour. Who's going to pay for it?
I was just going to print it. Can we not do that?
Just every school has a printer. I mean,
they got 3D printers now. I mean, they can just print gold. I don't know why we even dick around with this anymore.
I think
everyone should be rich.
I think that's a huge part, though, Devin, is that no matter what your team is doing, how well they're playing, or how awful they're playing, you'd have to pay them the same.
Right.
Otherwise, I think it would cause way too many political issues
Right, exactly.
and turn it a lot more into NFL, which I think a lot of people agree that NFL is less fun to watch.
Where's your timer at? Oh, it's on that one. Okay.
But I think that it would have, if it were to be a thing, it'd have to be a set number and it could not change.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would.
I mean, maybe through the years,
just with
but you can't
and shit like that. But
this player's doing better, so he gets paid more.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that at all.
It'd have to be set.
That would completely ruin the system.
I think it'd be really, really hard to keep that consistent and prevent people from doing that. Because you could say, "Oh, this kid has so much potential. We'll pay you an extra couple dollars an hour to come do here under the which." I mean,
which is what happens now.
What happens now? But it'd be an easier way to do that instead of
rest in peace, Reggie Bush's Heisman.
But instead of it being, here's what your base wage is, but hey, we're gonna give you an extra $3 or $4 an hour because you're Reggie Bush or you're Cam Newton.
See, I think that's where endorsements come in. You don't ever pay a player more.
Right.
They let that comes outside of.
But
this.
that's the point I'm getting at.
I think different schools would do that.
That's the point.
Matt's taking a piss in his cup.
That's the point I'm getting at, is that, okay, well, I got an under-the-table deal with Auburn or USC rather than coming to Nebraska. Cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Okay, cool.
I got an unofficial deal where Nebraska's, they're only going to pay me $13 and they're going to follow the rules. So I could go there and maybe do what I do for 4 years, or I could go to Duke. We'll switch around. Say I'll go to Duke, and what I will do there is, they're going to pay me $6 an extra under the table.
Yeah, but it's tough to argue that because anyone can do that.
That's why it's going to be the NCAA paying the players, not the colleges.
Right.
That's the only way that we would get around that, I think.
Which, okay.
Also,
yeah,
because it would affect the colleges
it's
way too much.
It's pretty tough to argue. I mean,
It's
something like
the
that.
NCAA is the one making the money.
Yeah.
They're going to be the ones paying.
Yeah.
Right, it would be. So,
I mean,
so it'd be the same thing just going on. Just less money the schools had
Just
under
the table. It still creates a better environment for the student.
Well,
athletes.
it eliminates a lot of problems in that sense because the NCAA knows what each player's making, and if they find out other players are making more,
That's
if
true.
a player's only making $20 an hour and he's been at the school for 6 months and all of a sudden he has a Maserati,
Should
he's got on that YouTube.
should NCAA athletes have to submit their bank statements every month?
oh my gosh,
Well, I think they should actually.
Maybe not their bank statements, but I don't know.
no.
I think there should be some kind of reporting system or something where if in this hypothetical world there were
then you're infringing on freedoms, and that's where it gets hairy. That's where you gotta
It's a whole
trust.
nother
You gotta
level.
trust the system, and people have gotten caught before, and they will continue to get caught, and people will get away with it.
That's right.
As long as there are rules, they will be broken. I think that trying to get too far into the rules and regs of it all and trying to stiffen up the rules will only make things worse. That's we saw that in the NFL this year with the catch rule, where there were so many rules and everything about the catch rule, where everything made it hard for determine what a catch is, which is a great segue for us to talk about what we were going to bring up
Sure
next.
is. You want to lead that one?
Yeah, today the catch rule got changed to 3 simple steps, and one of it was, forgive me if I get this wrong, but it's possession, like 3 steps and something else.
Yeah, it was possession. 3 steps or a football move.
Yep.
And then I can't
There
remember.
was
I actually
something
heard about this.
But yeah, well, I don't remember where you showed it, Blake, but you sent it to me today.
I think that was.
But they simplified it. So basically, they showed every catch that got overturned in the last 2 years. Des Bryant's catch against the Packers, overturned. Jesse James' catch against the Patriots, overturned.
I have a theory about that.
I actually really like this change.
I agree. I think it makes the game better. I think people want to see teams score. I think even as an opposing fan, if a team scores, it's not the end. So it's like, as from a Patriots fan standpoint, when Jesse James made that catch and made it into the end zone after that amazing drive by the Steelers in the regular season, I personally, watching it live, thought he scored. And I was like, I don't know why they're reviewing this. And then I saw what happened, and when it got overturned, all I did was this. I didn't say like, oh, they got it right. I was just like,
Yeah, I think that's the tough part about what was going on is that I think everyone in the world knows he caught that ball, but the rule stated that he didn't, and you have to follow the rule.
That was my only argument for it when people were harassing me about it. Was like, the rule says.
Yeah, I know. It sucks because it's like it was kind of like when I went on a rant not that long ago where I was saying how is this a difficult thing to determine what a catch is? If we go outside and we play catch right now, I know if you caught the ball.
Well,
I know you did.
Well,
so why are
that's severely different. I think once again we're over hyperbolizing the thing.
That was.
I think that in the NFL where it's literally a game of inches, they wanted to get the most accurate, most realistic game in the world, and I think they just took it too far. I think they just went over the top.
So yeah, easy 3-step process for figuring out what is a catch. Receiver must control the ball, establish himself inbounds 2 feet, and perform a football move such as taking a 3rd step or lunging with the ball in hand.
So here comes the infinite roundabout per se. What is control?
Yeah, that's the only.
And what's we've been looking at a football move that's been a thing for at least 20, 30 years in the NFL, but
I think they just expanded the definition
I truly
of football move.
don't know what a football move like. I think you're grossly oversimplifying it when you look at it as that's a football move.
Well, and
how do you know it's a football move? How do you know it's not a football
That's where it's up to the person and up to the ref ultimately. I think textbook answer, in my opinion, is both the Des Bryant catch and the Jesse James catch. Des Bryant caught it, literally had it out here for like 2 to 3 steps, and like stretched his arm out. Why else would he do that but to gain more yards or reach for the pylon?
He was literally
that is in my opinion a football move. Jesse James, when he caught the ball and like turned around and like lunged for the end zone line. Why else would he do that? To make a football move. If those plays took place, 40 yards back, they wouldn't make that move. The catch would have been made anyway. They would have tucked it. They would have secured it. But because they were striving for that extra yard, they got punished, and I think that was absurd.
I completely agree with that. I do think this is a move for the better, and I think this does expand the definition of football move, though, because they showed examples. They cited specific examples of what would be a football move.
I think it's also a great way just to silence the, for lack of a better term, haters. It's like forever there will be the asterisk, around these catches. There will always be the, oh, well, he caught it. No, he didn't. It's like if you simplify it, just it's done. It's over with. Nobody worries about it.
And so you can sit there and you can argue about the rules all you want. That's what's been going on for the last several years. But you with your whole heart that some of these were catches, even if the rule said otherwise.
Yeah. Fun thing I'm reading here: the rule got approved 32-0.
Well,
just saying.
It seems like everyone's fed up with this.
It was a bad year for it, especially this year.
Absolutely.
I think an uncommon amount of, and most of them against the Patriots.
Happened to be that way.
I wonder why.
But there was Austin Seferian-Jenkins catch where he caught it, bobbled it, and then the ball fell out of the corner of the end zone. It became 2 points for the Patriots versus 6 points for the Jets. There was then the Jesse James catch, which everyone infamously knows. Right. And then later in the season, there was the Kelvin Benjamin catch, where he caught it and bobbled it, but they couldn't confirm his control as he was stepping out of bounds.
And they did confirm that one was a catch today too.
Yep.
Part of that video.
And also the Calvin Johnson catch back in 2010-ish.
Yeah, that was another one that was just so ridiculous to look at. It's like, that was a catch. It was.
And I think even prior to this rule, that could have been possibly argued that it was a catch, just because at one point, when is the play dead? But whatever.
I think they went over the Andre Ellington one, too.
Yeah, they did briefly. That would have been a catch and fumble.
Yeah.
is what they would have said.
And they brought up a good point where it's like, will there be more fumbles in the NFL?
I think there will be more fumbles.
I think that makes it interesting. I think personally, just as a risk and reward, or facing the consequences of a risk, if you strive for that extra yard, if you reach for that extra yards, putting the security of the football in a vulnerable spot, and you lose the ball,
there should be a punt. Yeah.
How many times does a receiver reach for a pylon and then drop the ball and they just call it an incomplete pass? And it's like, it should be a fumble.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun when they fumble it through the end zone and it's a turnover.
Yeah.
It's a questionable rule.
I like it.
I think the worst part of it is it's all up to interpretation. I think that they need to get every referee into a room and just say, keep it simple, stupid.
Are there referees left? I think they all retired, didn't they?
All the good ones, at least. Well,
who took over for Ed Hockley?
His son, right?
His son did.
Yeah. Well, then what's the name of the guy who's stepping up that did the Super Bowl? I forget his name.
For this last year's Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Pats and.
I didn't see.
Was that the index
Eagles
card
Super
guy?
Bowl.
Oh,
yes, it was. It was the index card guy. I'm trying to remember his name, but
Gene Steratore.
That's the guy. He's a moron. He looks like a turtle.
Nobody's as bad as Jeff Triplett, though. I absolutely hated that guy. I'm glad he's out of the NFL.
Yeah, well, I think honestly, an NFL referee is probably one of the hardest gigs out there.
Easily.
Outside of NHL referee. But
If I was an NFL referee, I'd just take bribes.
Yeah, Gene Steratore was that. I didn't see him because there were no penalties called that game.
Yeah, they told him to keep it simple,
That's
stupid.
why that Super Bowl was really good.
It was a great Super Bowl.
But again, a lot of the catches in that Super Bowl that people were complaining about, it's like,
There was
those were catches.
Yeah,
they
there
were.
was-
The rule might have said otherwise, but those were catches.
Well, was it NBC that did it this year? I think it was Chris Collinsworth and Nick.
Yeah, he was just
Who was the other guy?
whining.
Chris Collinsworth and Nick.
His partner?
Yeah, who's his partner?
It's not.
No, it's
Chris Collins?
Al Michaels, right?
Yeah, it's
Al Michaels.
Al Michaels.
I don't know why I was thinking Nick, but Chris Collinsworth. There was a catch that the Eagles made that was virtually identical. Zach Ertz made it too.
Yeah.
Virtually identical to the Jesse James catch. And they're saying, well, if this stands by the rule, this is pretty much the same catch as the Jesse James catch. This should be an incomplete catch. But they didn't follow that narrative. Just a little bit of a salty Pats fan over here about that. I mean, I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
I'm very privileged. I understand that. But just consistency, man. That's the one. And so, it's like, do I personally think it's a catch? Yeah.
Right.
But if you're gonna make those calls, make those calls. But I'm glad they changed it personally. I really am, because then I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. I'm every time it happens, I receive messages from you guys, from friends I have.
Well, you're a Patriots fan. You're gonna get hated.
That's the problem.
I get it every year.
That's true.
You don't come with the territory.
We'll gauge the room here. I like to think I'm not the most obnoxious Patriots fan in the
They're
world.
worse.
No, I don't.
I
I just like giving you shit.
I know. Well, and that's part of it. I think that's part of it. And I think it's funny because when the topic of NFL football gets brought up around strangers, people I'm just getting to meet, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a Buccaneers fan," and they're talking about all these football fans. And it's just like, don't ask me.
Don't ask.
Just don't ask me.
You just gotta tell them you're a Jets fan. They won't ask any more questions.
Oh God, that's crazy how much the difference it can make. It's like I could say I'm a Browns fan and just receive all the pity and praise in the world. Like, oh, you're a real.
I'm
tough
sorry
guy
about
for
your
sticking
life,
through.
man. I'm sorry about your life.
Get a hard punch in the shoulder.
Literally, as soon as I tell anybody I'm a Patriots fan, it's like, screw you, you're the worst. I hate you.
Everyone hates the winners.
No, it's true.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It's true. But it's. I spent a summer in Kennebunk, Maine when I was a kid, and my cousins, where they had posters of Patriots, Bruins, Red Sox. That happened to be the same year the Patriots won the Super Bowl in 2001, and that's like, boom, jump ship. So, am I a bandwagon fan? Yeah. But I jumped in at a really young age. I was 5.
I think after 17 years, you don't get to call it bandwagon anymore.
And that's the thing that I'm starting to realize as well is that, you're exactly correct. It's been, when we had the fiasco of the Seahawks and the Niners fans a few years ago.
Oh, they were everywhere. So it's like,
they were terrible.
I think
absolutely terrible.
I think it just comes with the sport. I never knew I lived around so many Vikings fans, and I've seen a lot of Eagles apparel in Nebraska. Like, I've never seen it before.
I mean, that happens.
Also,
there's people who are just getting into the NFL and they pick the winning team. I mean, look at me. I'm a Houston fan. I didn't start watching the NFL until 2008. Now, I had no reason to pick Houston, but I did. But I just jumped onto that team. Had they happened to have won a championship that year, I'd be a bandwagon fan. But I mean,
right?
Oddly enough, I'm a Houston and a Packers fan.
And a Patriots fan.
That's
so
weird. But two guys that actually got me into football. So that's kind of where I have my...
Imagine that. Well, it's even like, so
Vice
think
versa.
about like Golden State Warriors, even though within the last few years, ever since Steph Curry's been there, you can't...
Popularity.
Yeah, you can't find a kid who's not...
I had never heard of that team before that guy showed up there.
Well, but no,
They
he's
were-
been there. He's been there for years.
Well, he's been
never
there...
heard of him.
Well, so like they were... He's probably been in the NBA for at least 8 years, but he hasn't...
He was
I was
there
saying, he
before
just
they
hasn't
wore
been
their uniforms.
really
I was saying,
good.
he's just turned 30, so
He
hasn't
started
been there for a
making
while.
half-court shots like it was nothing. All of a sudden, oh my god.
Well, and that's
Steph
that's
Curry's
exactly
amazing.
it. Well, and see, and that's exactly it. I think Steph Curry to LeBron James is arguably the, Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady.
Maybe.
Everybody loves Steph Curry.
Which one's which?
Everybody hates LeBron James. Everybody
Okay,
loves
okay. I see where
Aaron
you're going with
Rodgers. Everybody hates Tom Brady.
I,
They're
for the
both
record,
great.
really
They're
like
both-
Tom Brady.
Well, one's a
so.
cheater. So.
Oof. I've already gotten heated once. I just got done cooling my jets. Let's not start.
We'll ramp
again.
him back up. We're getting into it.
Deflategate was a sham.
All right.
It absolutely was.
All right,
Yeah,
we're done with that. Last piece I want to bring up real quick is the Des Bryant catch, which, according to the old rules, not a catch. But I personally still don't think it would have mattered. Secondly, that was not the biggest play of that game.
Well, it would have mattered. It would have mattered because that was a turnover on downs plays. It would have put them in red zone.
It would have put them at the.
It would have changed the outcome of the game.
It would have put them at the 1 yard line. They would have scored the next play because the Packers could not stop DeMarco Murray. The only time they stopped him, which was the biggest play of that game, was when Julius Peppers stripped him as he was. If you can look at the play again, DeMarco Murray runs around the corner, splits the defenders. There's nothing but green in front of him. Julius Peppers gets in there, rips the ball out. It's a fumble Packer ball.
He's saying this all in a Packers jersey.
No.
I am. I'll
Listen,
say it loud and proud.
Okay, but I agree with him. It doesn't change the game, and here's why.
Well,
Aaron
would that
Rodgers,
play-
is,
would that
Aaron
play have
Rodgers
been
is getting the
called?
ball back with 2 minutes left, and he went on fire that game.
The second half, he could have literally beat anybody in that game. I don't care how bad his calf was.
So-
He would not have lost to anybody in that.
I want to
second
know
half.
one. I would like to know how much time was left when Des Bryant catch got
2 minutes,
recalled.
it was 2
I don't
minutes.
remember. I don't remember that for sure. But
Get your
all
fact
of,
checker.
I
out.
just from I'm trying to keep a logical standpoint here. All of this is purely theoretical.
Yeah. I mean, you
All
can't, you
this
can't
is
say for
purely
sure what would happen.
All this. I mean, we as passionate as we can be. All of this is purely theoretical.
I mean, he could have got sacked for the first time in the game and fumbled the ball in the Super Bowl.
What
That could have happened.
What was everybody saying when Tom Brady got the ball back with like a minute and a half left against the Eagles down by 3 points? They're like, oh, here comes the Patriots. If nobody's
It's
holding
like
their
we've
breath.
seen this before.
And then, and then the strip sack happens.
Yeah.
It's like so. Any play changes the outcome of a game. I don't agree with the idea of just saying, well, it wouldn't have made a difference. I disagree. It makes all the difference.
I guess I should say I would like to think it wouldn't have made a difference. I don't know that it would.
That's a better way of phrasing it.
Hang on. I'm seeing here.
So
there.
Hey, everyone watch Devin's Google.
yeah, no, just to keep the conversation going. It's hard to talk about. We're all very passionate about it, and it's just like it's hard to talk about it without taking an unbiased point. And I think that's just one thing that just, if you, as a fan, people need to take that second thought to realize that everything you think would have happened is theoretical. So how much time was left?
Hang on.
Way more than that.
This isn't the last. This is the.
This is the
Oh,
catch.
is it?
So there's 4.5 minutes.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, there's 4. I thought it was 2 as well. So yeah.
4.5 minutes left. They
4.5 minutes
would
left.
have possibly gone up by 2 points. There would have been plenty of time in the game. Like anything could happen.
But he also could throw an interception. So.
But it changed the game.
Could have-
It changed the game. Ultimately, it changed the game.
Because that was the game where his calf was starting to give out, and he could have overextended just slightly more,
Could
and it broke
have.
his leg, and he died.
Could have.
broke his leg and he died.
It could have happened.
The end of Aaron Rodgers.
It could have happened.
But that's a very unlikely situation.
No, I like to think that that's probably the most reasonable outcome.
Man, what else you got?
Well, you have a game for us.
Yeah,
I think it'd probably be a good time to get into that.
I think it's fun for something for us to do is probably one game every episode, something to get the audience engaged, something to think about. And we got some constructive criticism about last week's game being a little long and uninteresting for some people.
Ooh.
23. 23 questions.
I know, it's way
We're
too much.
We're gonna dumb it down.
Like I said, when I was in the middle of that game, I was like, this is too much.
We're gonna just straight up dumb it down, and we're gonna make it fun for everybody. And I've come up with a 10-question quiz, and I'm gonna read you guys a headline, and I want you to tell me if this headline was put out by The Onion, which is a satirical article manufacturer. I don't know how you want to
That
word
means
this.
made up, John.
Big words.
Stay with us, buddy.
Big
Stay with
words.
us.
Everything they publish is completely false, and they do it just to either make people laugh and they know it's fake, or try to raise a response out of people who take it as real, because obviously everything you read on the internet is real.
Obviously.
So I will read some headlines that were true published headlines.
You know what I read on the internet?
And
Tom Brady's a cock.
well, I will also published by The Onion. Facts. I will read true published headlines, and then I will read Onion published headlines. And we didn't decide if we wanted to do this individually, if you guys wanted to collab as a group and determine if we wanted to say, hey, this is a real headline or this is an Onion headline published
I
by
think
The
we
Onion.
should go around and we should actually stick to the same rule set the whole game because we have a bad time doing that.
Let's do that.
But I think we should go around the table, everyone votes, and then reveal.
Cool.
And let's do whoever
Let's
gets the most points wins.
Let's do it.
So I don't have anything
Here,
to keep
let me-
score with.
here,
So
I got you. Well, I guess you can do it, but I'll just set this up real quick.
we got, like I said, we got 10 of them. And we're going to start off with a real zinger. Like I said, we're going to do this individually. Winner gets bragging rights. First headline is: Woman in sumo wrestler suit assaulted her ex-girlfriend in gay pub after she waved at a man dressed as a Snickers bar.
That is absolutely true.
I'm gonna say true.
That's 100% true.
That is a true headline. That is
None of it makes sense. That's how I knew it was true.
It's like if you couldn't think of that up on the spot, then it's probably real.
Here's the
No,
thing.
I'm reading all of these.
I know.
Here's the thing: is that she waved at a man and she's a lesbian. It makes zero sense. That's why
Zero
it's true.
sense.
All right, next headline. Mark Zuckerberg promises that misuse of Facebook user data will never happen again and again.
Again and again.
Why are we going around the table?
I'm gonna say false.
You think
I
it's
think
that's
it's
the
fake.
Onion?
I think
You
it's
think
fake.
that's the Onion?
I think it's the Onion.
I'm gonna go true.
What's the Onion?
It is the Onion.
That and again really gave it away.
That was that was a good one.
I thought,
All right.
I thought Matt was going to be too smart and not alternate one after the other.
So the next one is true.
Next headline. I'm sure all of us have heard of Stormy Daniels by now. If you haven't, it's the porn star who supposedly banged the president.
President's gotta get laid too.
Stormy Daniels, in 60 Minutes interview, leads to spike in Pornhub searches for Anderson Cooper.
That's interesting.
This one is... I swear there was some kind of iteration of that on the Weekend Update last week on SNL. I swear there was. So I'm going to say that is a true headline.
True headline.
I will go false.
You think it's the Onion?
Onion. Fake
John
news.
think it's the Onion.
Fake news.
Again, it makes no sense. I think it's true.
This was the Onion.
Oh!
This was published
And we're
by
all
The Onion.
tied back up. Almost like we haven't played yet.
Son of a...
That was a good one.
First
That's
question.
one of my favorite ones. Next one. State population to double by 2040. Babies to blame.
That's true. Absolutely true.
That's the Onion.
I want to read that.
I'm saying the Onion.
Onion. John?
Babies to blame. We'll go Onion.
Gotta separate myself from the crowd here. That's true.
That is a true headline. That is a true headline.
That's amazing.
Published in Sacramento, California.
That's
What?
amazing.
That's awesome.
Which babies?
Can you send me that headline?
Next one. Homeless man put under house arrest.
The Onion. I'm going with the Onion.
Oh, these are great. Like, does he have a box?
This one's too simple. Homeless man put under house arrest.
Yep. You read that right.
I want to go true because I want to believe in this.
It's gotta be Onion.
I want to believe.
Did you say?
I said the Onion.
This one's real.
Oh,
You gotta believe.
This one's real. It is real. Published in 2007.
Oh,
Another California headline.
that's perfect.
Next one. Study finds average American inadvertently eats the equivalent of 8 pieces of fruit per year.
That's absolutely true.
Inadvertently?
True. No, I'm going that.
Study finds average American inadvertently eats equivalent of 8 pieces of fruit per year.
Real news. I'm gonna go true.
Here, Devin, what you got?
I'm gonna go with the onion.
I think it's just inadvertently that screams onion to me.
It is the onion. It is the onion. Blake, you've taken the lead back. These are good, man.
How many we got left?
I've been jumping around.
I gotta
here.
secure my lead here.
We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Oh no, I could completely blow this in that time.
So yeah, we've gone through 6. Cows lose their jobs as milk prices drop.
I think this is true. I really do.
Say it again.
I think all of them are true. Because
Cows
all of these could be real.
lose their jobs as milk prices drop.
Real.
Jobs.
Clickbait.
Onion.
Clickbait.
Onion.
Cows lose their
You think all these are onion, Devin? You can't.
That's how sad the world
Devin's
is.
too real. He doesn't live in the fantasy world.
What'd you say?
True.
I'm gonna go with true as well.
It is true.
Yes, it is.
It is true. It's published in Easton, Maryland. I'm not making these up.
How many are left? Sorry. 8 left?
There's
3 more.
Midget sues grocer, cites belittling remarks.
Okay, that's the onion.
Onion.
Belittling remarks. Onion.
This is a real headline.
We're all wrong.
Oh my.
This is a real headline, guys. All right, we're gonna get a little edgy here.
Uh-oh.
Edgelord Matt. The biggest compliment he's ever gotten before.
Teens spend wild spring break in D.C. begging lawmakers for their lives.
Wait, what was? Read that again.
Teens spend wild spring break in D.C. begging lawmakers for their lives. This is reference to the march that just happened.
It's too real.
True.
It's too real.
I'm saying true, and it's probably the onion, but I'm saying true.
It's too real to be real.
Blake, what do you think? I think you're just gonna wait for John.
That's exactly what I was gonna do.
I know your strat. I've done this before. Why don't you answer first for the sake of competitiveness?
All right. I gotta go true.
And go onion.
This is the onion.
Yes!
This is the
Ties
onion.
it up.
All right.
One more?
We have a tiebreaker here.
Wait, what did Devin get?
I got 3.
You guessed
No, but did he get that one right?
No, he got it wrong.
You guys
so he's
got
out.
it.
Okay.
Last headline. This is for bragging rights between Blake and John. I hope you guys both pick different sides. Because if not, I'll have to dig up a tiebreaker.
We should do at the same time.
Yeah,
let's write it down.
We'll get Devin's response.
We'll get a piece of paper. We'll both write it down.
Okay, I'll write.
Jeopardy style.
Yeah,
Just do
I'll
it.
tear
Just do it.
I'll tear off 2 pieces. Anyway, this headline is Best Man Left Bleeding After Being Hit in Head by Flying Dildo.
Best man.
All right.
I already know my answer.
Yeah, me too.
Hold it up, don't let Blake see it.
I'm not changing my answer.
Wait,
I don't care
hold on.
what is this.
Oh, yeah.
I need to make it big enough for the camera to see or no?
No, you don't have to. I'll read it. You can trust my words.
Oh, your pen.
What do you think, Devin?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's have
some
some moderator and some losing contestant.
What's our tiebreaker?
Time.
Oh, you have to come up with another one if we.
I'm gonna say fake news onion because I don't think that they would use the word dildo
That's what
in
it's
a
called.
true headline.
What else are you gonna call it?
What's the what if
always
this
use the-
was real news? What would
Let's-
you use instead of dildo?
We always use the indefinite article a dildo.
Not
Never
John.
your dildo.
John responded with true,
Oh, this is interesting.
as did Blake.
Oh
And it is a real headline.
yes.
So I am going to
6
pick up a
to 6.
tiebreaker. We'll do the same thing.
Team
Devin, you're out of it.
lazy.
I got time to write all these letters. Trying to win here.
I'll pull up my
Play to win.
little cheat sheet here, and
Did you have extras ready to go?
I did not have
I think we
extras
should
ready
just
to go.
arm
but-
wrestle for a winner. personally.
I don't know. That doesn't seem that fair to
See
me.
what
All
do you mean?
Here's a headline, guys.
You have to pick different this time.
No, you don't.
Let's say.
We're gonna keep it going.
I'll use the other side of my paper.
I was paralyzed by a pork chop. Devin, what do you think? You're out of this.
The question
you can give
is,
some insight
did he
here.
go to The Onion or did he go to a news site?
Ooh. Do 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 do. What do I think? Everything that I've said is wrong, so I'm gonna say it's a true headline.
You think it's a true headline?
Does that mean
your
you're
But
heart,
that actually makes me
your
think
heart
that it's an
tells you
onion.
it's the onion?
So
Well, John drew an onion,
You're darn right.
and Blake said false, which I'm assuming means
Dang it! What the heck?
you're both wrong.
Oh
no! Devin wins.
Yeah, we
Devin
both
wins.
lose. Devin wins.
Devin wins. Devin wins.
Through a victory.
2-0. 2-0. We'll put an asterisk next to that. But yeah, good game all.
So you're saying it's like a Patriots Super Bowl? Okay.
Ooh. Okay, we'll do one more to settle for.
He's all triggered now.
Here's the
Are you
next
my
one.
paperback or are we just doing it regular?
Just same time.
Same time, alright.
3, 2, 1.
I'll count
3,
down
2,
to
1,
three.
jerk off. What?
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Man humped to death by pet camel.
Okay. 3.
Hang on.
What? Blake, you
This
ready?
is obvious.
Man humped to death.
Blake, are you
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
True.
Oh my!
Dang it! It's blatantly true. Pick a different one.
It's true.
If you want a camel, you're gonna get banged with it.
All right.
That's how life works.
John and I are on the same
folks.
wavelength
That's how
here.
life works.
This is
knows.
This is too much. This is too much.
Don't own a camel
if you're not trying to get fucked,
unless you're a zoo.
Maybe you should just pull
Then
out
you
like
can own a
a,
camel.
like a fact and ask whoever gets the closest because we're never going to get with these.
Blake and I have two similar minds. We once did a personality test. Because I was driving to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
we drove to Texas to visit some friends, Blake and I did, and to watch a football game. And he had just done a personality test for work, which was completely wrong. It said he was a real nice guy.
No, that was a different one. This one was actually accurate. The one that we did on the way to Texas. Because it came out that we were
Oh,
both
you're
assholes.
right. You're right. Because you had told me about the one that you did that was
Yeah.
totally wrong.
Yeah, that
It
one
said
was
you're a real
ridiculous.
nice
It was
guy.
like I'm a people person. I like working with other people.
And then,
All right, guys. Last one. If not, rock, paper, scissors. Study: 90% of Americans strongly opposed to each other.
were those words one more time?
Study: 90% of Americans strongly opposed to each other.
Okay.
Can we just answer different times?
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Mine's
false
true.
because it's
I think it's
100%.
This is the onion.
Yeah.
Ooh,
This is the
winner,
onion.
winner,
Blake,
chicken
Blake-
dinner.
Blake's our winner. That was fun. I'm glad
It's
we got some
definitely
laughs.
100%, not 90%. That's how I knew that was false.
Oh, that makes sense. I saw high percentile and decided.
fun.
That's all I got.
Well,
And ending of our Texas trip, apparently Blake and I are both assholes.
yep,
So,
that's what we found out.
Oh, yeah. It's,
per personality test.
Yeah, that's-
Well, it's official then, so
yeah.
official.
According to that study, anyways. But if we go with my current employer's study, then I'm actually a really nice guy that people like and want to be around. So,
which is why we started this.
yeah,
Being around you.
it's Blake's Happy Fun Adventure Hour.
Exactly.
Speaking of an hour, it's been an hour, and I think this is probably a good time to wrap this up.
I agree.
yeah, I'm,
Good spot.
I'm happy.
Yeah. So, yeah. Any comments that you have for us? Leave them in the comments below.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, the whole shebang.
Send news.
Comment below and above.
We just started new social media pages. Follow us on Instagram,
Facebook.
at Infinite Roundabout. We'll link it in the description. Twitter, it's at INF Roundabout. They won't allow that much characters. Then we have a Facebook page. It's just called Infinite
And,
Roundabout.
speaking of shout-outs, a shout-out again to Kendall. Awesome
Absolutely.
logo.
Kendall, phenomenal artist and human being.
Yeah, that shout out could have been yours, Joe, but you weren't here.
Yeah. Show up next time. When you make a commitment, commit to it.
Yeah. Official goes by Mad Dag Design. That's MADDAG Design. We will post that, like I said, in the description below. If you need anything, just let him know. He's pretty open to it.
You can also send him nudes.
Mad
You
props.
can send him.
He will draw your nudes and send them back to you.
And
That is a promise.
Better than
he made our logo out of penises.
He did.
in the description below. You will find our
Tell you
logo
what,
in penises.
If this video gets 20 likes, we'll post,
20
the
likes.
penis logo.
All right, yeah. 20 likes.
20 likes, we'll post the penis logo. I'm
right.
going to like this
Come
video.
on, like it up.
Like it up. We'll do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking it. I want to
We
see
will
that.
do
we're gonna have to put in the description. Skip to end.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening.
Goodbye, internet.
Have a great week.
Someone gonna hit stop?
Probably.
Stop.